What's up, Impact Nation? I can't tell you how excited I am. This is Impact Players Volume 2. My first live guest is my good friend, Rachel Miller. And I couldn't be any more excited because Rachel Miller basically personifies exactly what this show is about. And as you know, that is about impact players empowering you to maximize profit and impact. Rachel, thank you so much for being here.
Thrilled to be here. So glad you had an opening.
Yeah, I totally did. Actually, Rachel was gonna come later, and we had another guest who got caught in a traffic jam. I'm like, Rachel, what are you doing right now? She's like, I just sweating. It's a million degrees out here. I'm like, come on the show. Let's do this.
I my kids home from the school bus in like 123 degrees. Maybe it was 123, but it was definitely triple digits. And yeah, so I'm a little warm, but we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, no. For those of you who don't know Rachel Miller, she's actually a long distance neighbor of mine. Lives about half an hour away, but. She's actually done some tremendous things. We actually started our business pretty much the same time. What, 3 years ago now, or less than 3 years ago?
Almost 3 years ago. Isn't that crazy?
3 years ago, we met at Funnel Hacking Live in right here, actually in Dallas, where we both are, and we were both new. And crazily enough, we've both done some pretty cool things. Rachel does some really awesome things, or she teaches people how to rock Facebook organically. I mean, she's helped so many.
I got one of the biggest wins of my entire like organic trait Facebook like career so far. And one of my students, you are not going to believe this one, Akbar. You ready for it?
Yeah, I'm ready.
96,977,100,000, and it's like 400 and something. I got a screenshot in my group right now of a client who got their reach in the last 28 days with no ad spend.
Wait, okay, let's just like pause for a second.
What just happened? So
let's just unpack for a second.
He may have dethroned the biggest person on Facebook. So kind of cool. He started about 3 years ago.
Wait a minute. What exactly has gotten 96 million views?
On his content, on his page.
So like a picture?
Yeah, he got his like motivational quotes, motivational videos. He runs a motivational channel.
Oh, so he's got 96 million followers. 96
million in reach. So his content in the last calendar month, that is my new, like, I don't think we could ever top it. Now, that's a limiting belief, Rachel. The largest before was like 64. Anyways, what it is now, I'm just like, oh my word. 64 million was the biggest before, and now we're at 96 million. So,
wait a minute. How many people are in America? There's like 600 million, right?
300 million. So
did you say 400?
325 million.
Oh my God, I thought it was 600. So that's how smart I am.
225 million in the United States total that are on Facebook. But there's like 300 and something million in the US, not including the people that aren't on Facebook. Like my little kids aren't on Facebook type of thing. Well, they're not supposed to be on Facebook.
Right.
They're on Facebook. Who are we kidding? But like, so my, and of course there's some people that might have more than one account. So take that all into account that there's 225. Now his account is a global account, and he's actually not based in the United States. So his account is a global account. So it does mean that the numbers are a little bit different, but they aren't spam likes in the sense he's not attracting an audience that a lot of us would consider to be a spam audience. It's usually developed nations audiences.
I have to ask, since he's motivation, are these his own quotes?
Probably not. Okay. I'm not going to say his name.
Edit that. We're editing that out of this podcast.
It's okay. Like I do teach people to be ethical, and when you share, to always attribute. So do I know if all of his are his own? I'm guessing he can't come up with them all his own. So my hope and prayer, I don't read all of his content, is that he's following our guidelines and is attributing anything.
What's your take on that whole Jay Shetty thing that's happened?
Don't be a jerk. I think I like have 2 rules in life. Don't spam me, because that's really annoying. So don't be annoying, and don't be, and claiming something's yours when it's not yours, that's mean. So this person, he never has his name on his page.
Okay.
Stuff on his page, but if you went to his audience, you wouldn't know that he's the person behind the brand. So actually we met in he had me like talk to him about monetization about 2.5 years ago at a coffee shop, and he was like the most introverted person you've ever met. I think it's so cool that even the most introverted person, like you cannot get more introverted than this guy. If he can do it, and he can do it in just a couple of years because he loved his people and he loved the message he was talking about.
Yeah.
He had a compulsive need to get that message out, even if he wasn't monetizing, because he didn't monetize for the first couple of years he had it up.
So how's he monetizing now? Like he's got 90 million reach. Like how's he monetizing that?
Some sponsored content, some affiliate links, lots of affiliate links.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hopefully
it's interesting, right? Like there's selling and then there's fulfilling. It's a pretty interesting notion to have such a platform where you can actually just sell other people's stuff, and generally you get paid handsomely. I just got offered a nice 50% on a high ticket offer, and there's no delivery. It's a pretty beautiful kind of concept, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I don't take advantage of it enough. You've gotten 40%. Yeah, seriously. You are obviously doing big things because you've lately gotten some hate, and only people who do big things get hate.
Yeah, it's so funny because okay, Akbar called me or something. He's asking me a question about something, and I answered the question. He's like, "That's so cool." I'm like, "You have no clue how much I needed to hear from somebody good right now." Or just whenever you're making waves in the world, people will come out and say what they don't like about it, and sometimes they bring out your character when you know those character traits aren't there. Like I know my faults, and I know things in my life that are that I have issues with. Like I should spend more time with my children. I should not multitask with my children. That's I know I have some glaring issues in my life that I do.
But you stopped work at 3 though, no?
I'm working on it. I am working on it because I do walk the kids home from the bus, but I'm on now, so I keep breaking my rules. And anyways, my point is we all have our points of failure, but when someone calls you something that you know that you're not, you need to tell that voice that you need to be quiet, because I know that you're not speaking I got this from James Wedmore. You're speaking a story that's not true. And so your story is with this one fact that you're deciding to take from my life and claim it's my entire life or who I am. And you're taking a snapshot and declaring that as to who I am. And so I had to just say, you know what, I know it in the deepest heart of my heart that that's not me. So I can tell that story to be quiet. But it was really nice to hear your voice at that moment when I was trying to say, quiet.
Yeah, no, I'm happy to be, at least somebody likes the sound of my voice. But so talk, a lot of people, okay, I actually had a client, and a lot of people suffer from this. There's people at all different levels of the journey. We all started with nothing. We all
still struggle with the same issue of people hating us, and that voice on our shoulder telling we're not good enough. That happens at every level.
Yeah. I mean, we both started with basically nothing a few years ago, right? So here's the thing.
I had 2 businesses at the time. They were both multiple 6 figures, but I knew they weren't the business that was going to be my big business.
Yeah. No, but I mean, you had a fresh business.
Yeah, I had a fresh business.
Yeah. So that's the thing. There are some people who get one hater, their first hater. And I kid you not, I've seen this. They literally go in hiding for months because they believe that story. I'll give you a perfect example. I had a client, extremely talented photographer. She has so many testimonies, helps so many people have a thriving photography business. One jerk who obviously woke up on the wrong side of the bed, or somebody didn't love him enough, said, "Hey, your stuff, honestly, I can just Google that. I can just Google that crap." She felt like she just wanted to die. She went in hiding for 6 months. And
you know what? That happened to me too. When my first video that I did, this was probably 9 years ago. I did a video making a kid's craft. And it was when, remember those times when they would have the BuzzFeed Tasty Style videos where the camera would be down and you just see the hands cooking or the hands doing whatever. Yeah. And so I was making a kid's craft at the time with my kids. And I never have nails that are well done. It's just, I have the idea of it.
Me neither.
So then they're gone. If you're on the podcast, you totally missed it. I held my nails up for you to see they're imperfect.
Right. That's a good point.
It's craft, and I got 3 comments that said, have you heard of a manicure? Like, have you looked at your nails? I'm thinking now, looking back, I'm like, dude, if you're playing with your children and you're actually washing your own dishes and you're like doing stuff like lawn work, your nails are going to look like this and it's going to be okay, because I live my life and I got 6 kids and you need to just grow up. But I didn't have the confidence to say that at the time. So I didn't make another video for 3 or 4 weeks. Like, I didn't touch anything. I was like, I can't post this content. I can't do it. I can't do it. I can't do it. They're going to look at my nails. I have to paint my nails first. And now I'm like, oh, screw it. You're just going to see my nails.
You know what? That is so beautiful, because it's like, it's really a shame, because I always think about like real life versus the internet, right? Because like if you were teaching some content, like you were doing that video in front of a live audience, there's not one person who would have gotten up and be like, your nails are not good.
And honestly, my real audience, like looking back at it, my real audience, I'm better because my nails aren't perfect to my real audience, because they have multiple kids and they're living a busy life and they're doing stuff with their hands. Their nails get chipped. So it's so funny how, like, if I was thinking, who is my real audience? And if I was really, truly loving and serving them, I would give them the real me to tell them your nails don't have to be perfect to do kids' crafts either.
So Rachel, we could talk about hate forever, and I think we should talk about some more, but the show is called Impact Players. And one of the crux of the show is like, what have you done? How has your business been impactful to the world, and what has that done for you and your business? Oh. Was that verbose, or was that okay?
Oh, it was verbose, but you're always verbose. Own it, Akbar, own it.
I gotta tighten up.
I didn't part out either. I get to totally make fun of them. So yeah, I'm grateful because, like, how do I say it? Before I had this business, I told you earlier, I had multiple mid 6-figure businesses that I had created. And those fulfilled my family in that they put food on the table, they paid for our mortgage, they paid for our new car when we had to buy a new car unexpectedly. When my daughter broke her collarbone and her other bone, we had to go into the hospitals for those. You know how life happens when you get kids do stuff on trampolines. Those businesses paid for my life. So they sustained my existence, right? But they didn't fulfill my heart. And so we all have that need for our hearts to have fulfillment. So once we get our families fed, which is the most important thing, you got to do that first. Once we get our like planning for the future, we get like, what is the next month going to be? We have something sustainable going forward. Once we have that, we then have that desire to make an impact. And that's what your podcast is like, helping people achieve in their lives, a chance for them to make a difference in somebody else's life. Yeah. So my earlier blogs were like, what vacuum cleaner you should buy. And frankly, that is making an impact in someone's life, because you buy the wrong vacuum cleaner, your house is going to smell funky. The vacuum cleaner is going to clog. It's not going to clean your house. Like, you all want the right vacuum cleaner, but is it really that impactful? Not really, right? It's more sustaining than fulfilling. So while that's still cranking out posts and still generating revenue and still being awesome and amazing, I'm so grateful for my current business, which gives me a chance to make an impact on people's lives and to love people and to feel loved in return, to give to my audience, to see my audience make differences in their businesses and have their businesses make an impact in the world. That's super exciting and super fulfilling for me.
Yeah. Were you, I don't think I've ever asked you, were you ever poor in your life?
Oh my word, yes. We had one Christmas where we didn't have money for Christmas, which it was, guys, before you guys think being poor was a problem, we actually loved that Christmas. Okay. Yeah, so what we did is we took the kids' toys that they currently had, and about 8-10 days before Christmas, we wrapped them up. And so each kid picked out a toy to give to their sibling, and they wrapped it up. And then we picked out toys from that we currently had, and we wrapped them up, and then we put them in a closet because those were the Christmas presents.
That sounds awesome.
It wasn't what parent wants more crap in their house, right? So one, it was genius because that too, the toys that they like were playing with 3 weeks ago, they suddenly appreciated more because they had 3 weeks without that toy that they loved, because now it's a Christmas present. And 3, we were like I don't know, we just loved that Christmas. And since then, my husband and I don't buy each other gifts. Like we just,
really?
we just stopped because we just stopped. We didn't see the need for it anymore. I don't know if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it totally does.
So, anyways, and it, like he loves me, I love him. It's not like we just don't see the need for it anymore. And both of us look back at that Christmas as one of our most favorite Christmases, even though we were eting red beans and rice for Christmas.
My wife
unwrapping Christmas presents that we already had.
That is so cool. My wife didn't see the need for gifts ever, really, but that is so fascinating, actually, because there's something I've been tripping on lately about this topic, right? So it bothers me a little bit. Tell me what you think about this, because you have 6 kids, which, by the way, like, bravo, like they've outnumbered you and you're still surviving. So that is fantastic.
We're having fun.
Yeah, and you're having fun. You're thriving. You're surviving and thriving.
That survival sanity level a long time ago.
So it bothers me when some of this younger generation, they see somebody driving by with a Lamborghini or a big house or something on a rap video or whatever, and they're like, oh, dude, I want that. I want to be rich. I want to grow up. I want to be rich. And it bothers me a little bit because I know what they mean. What they mean to say is, oh, that house or that car would make me happy. And so one day I want to be happy, and they're equating that to happiness. And I think you can relate as someone who's had a good amount of money, someone who hasn't had money. And I've been in the same situation. And a lot of times my most happiest moments were actually when I didn't have any of that money. And I couldn't have any of that, like, nice house, nice car, anything like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't think it's about it's a generation size. It's more just a state of being, like being content with where we are, or a desire for more things. And there is like a balance, because if we're permanently content, we're not going to look for things to improve. Yeah. And we should be improving our lives. We should be cleaning up our dishes. Like, somebody who's permanently content doesn't mind that the dish is there on the table. It could stay there forever.
That's like me. Yeah.
There is a need for some, like, desire for change, because that's how you, like, improve yourself. That's how you get better grades in school. That's how you, like, life, when something breaks, it gets replaced, it gets fixed. So we want to have that desire for change, but there's got to be a temperance between the desire for change and desire to see things improve, and that point where it becomes like greed. Because if it's beyond what you need, well, then you just need to recognize, this isn't something that I need. This is something that I want. Now, is this want stealing from another thing in my life? So for me, I don't need to work like I do. My husband doesn't need to work like he does. Like, we're blessed at this stage because of the businesses that I've built, that we don't have to keep working as hard. So now I tell myself that I have some choices. I have to work enough to feed my family and to make my life better and to improve, like, to make our life sustainable. But then there's a point where I'm working so much that I'm stealing from my family, because I'm not spending the time with them, and I'm spending the time working for a Lamborghini instead. And so where's that balance? For me, I'm choosing not to go the Lamborghini route, because I want to not take that time away from my family by going to that
extreme.
Too extreme, yes.
So you're working because you want to, not because you have to.
A little bit, yeah, because my husband and I both. He told me but I did have to supplement my husband's income. He's a project manager, but we were not able to make ends meet completely on his salary. So I did have to work, but I don't have to work and make the level I have. Right. Right now, my husband doesn't need to work either.
Yeah.
Like, not one of us has to work, but both of us don't. But, like, what he said to me was, I'm not going to make you quit your job, so you can't make me quit mine. Right. Both need to work, but there's a point, like, mentally we need to work. But there's a point where we don't need to work in excess. So, like, he doesn't need to work to try to get another promotion and work killer hours for whatever projects, in the sense that's not his end goal, that he doesn't need to progress to another career. I also maybe shouldn't go to the 10 mil level at the stage right now, because
do you want to do that?
I have thought about it. Just
I have too. Yeah. It's always a debate, isn't it? And it's funny, because I have that same internal a conflict as you do, that because it's going to take a lot more time. I think
my family. It's going to steal from them if I go farther. So do I want to? Yes, but I'm not going to do it at the cost of my family.
Right. Now, you're a perfect person to ask this question to. Obviously, you started with nothing. You developed several 6-figure businesses, even a 7-figure business. Did you ever feel like giving up? The answer is probably yes. How did you get over that feeling? And what impact has giving had in the ability for you to not give up and have your business to be where they are today?
Oh, no, I get exactly what you mean.
Yeah. Okay. That was like the worst, like, it was not formed.
No, what you're saying is, like, what has giving done for you to keep you from giving up? Is that what you mean?
Yeah. Yeah. How has giving helped you not give up in your business?
Well, giving, actually, we had, why we all have a goal, right? A goal that we want to get, right? Why wait for that goal when you could have that goal right now? So, for me, one of our goals was that we would build a school in Kenya. And at the time, I'd had my biggest launch ever, my only real launch ever, which was 93K. Nice. And I left that launch. About 6 weeks later, I was at PLF Live, which is like this conference thing. And I'm at the conference, and at the conference, somebody's talking about how if it cost X amount of money for a classroom. And I was like, in school. And so if everybody together in this conference room pools their money, we can all buy a school together. And I'm like, dude, I just did a launch for 93K. Yeah, you know where this is going, don't you?
Yeah, don't talk to me.
I'm not going to buy a classroom. I'm going to buy the whole school.
I'm buying the country.
Yeah, I'm going to buy the country. Yeah, I was just a cocky brat. But
that's awesome, though, to be cocky to want to buy a school.
Yeah, I was like, and I called my husband afterwards, and first off, I went Facebook Live. Yeah. Right after that conversation, I told the person that was sitting next to me, Christine, who is my blog manager. She came to the conference event with me, and I told her that I was going to be buying a school. And she said, "That's great." I'm sure she thought I was off my rocker. She said she'd help me every way she can. She's amazing. I can't believe she stuck with me all these years. Like, oh my word, she's awesome. So anyway, so she told me, go for it, Rachel. I'm behind you. Do it. So then I go on a Facebook Live and I tell my audience, because I knew that if I didn't tell people I was going to do it, that I would like back out or something. Yeah. And so I told my whole audience that I was going to do it, and I filled out the paperwork to do it. So like I committed to the school, like as if, and I paid like a down payment and all that other good stuff. Yeah. But that was all I had. Like I had no more money in the bank for this. Right. I just had this down payment that I did, and now I have to come up with the rest. And then start actually breaking ground before it was paid. I was like, but you're breaking ground and I have the money. Like, how does this work? There's no money yet. Like I got it. Anyways, the point though of this whole story is, and my husband was totally behind it, is that we decided what is our ultimate goal that we would love to do with our business. And for us, before paying off our house, before like the paying for the kids' college fund, what we ultimately would have wanted to do is build a school. So why don't we do that first? And so we committed to it right off the bat. And I think because I committed to something so hairy and scary and audacious and giant, and I did it really publicly, like I think that made it happen. And I don't think I would have the multiple 7-figure business that I have right now if I didn't have the holy moly, I got a lot of money I got to raise, and I got to stat. Like, how does this?
A little bit of anxiety is kind of good for you, isn't it? It's interesting because, like, from a scientific point of view, a little bit of anxiety actually heightens your senses, your sight, your hearing, your smelling. Because it puts your body in survival mode, because your body thinks something's wrong, something's attacking. So it puts you in survival mode. So it's funny because a little bit of anxiety I think is actually good, but too much of it can cripple you. Like I had, crippling anxiety disorder, and I can't produce anything. You said a couple of really interesting things there. Your husband, he seems really supportive.
Oh my word. He's like the most chill guy you've probably ever met. He doesn't actually, people say like, he's not supportive in the sense he doesn't get involved in my business. But I made him the owner of it. Like, so on paper, he's the one who owns the business.
Oh,
I don't know why I did it that way, but I just did. And it's a common law state. So like it's 50-50 no matter what. So in my mind, it was just, I'm like, this is your business. Like, but in his mind, we're interesting. He just like, there was a time I lost like 25 grand, like this. And I was crushed because I felt like a failure.
What'd you do? Like a marketing campaign or something?
No, it was, we had a DDoS attack and it took down my site, the day before Thanksgiving. And so my site was down for 8 days, which basically meant that I got, that whenever you get the gray blacklisted on all those like spam, anyways, it was catastrophic for Q4. When did we make the most money? Like Q4. When did I have the ability to get zero traffic for like, I don't know, a whole month in Q4?
Wow. Jeez. Wow.
Profitable month of Q4.
Yeah, seriously.
So I'm like freaking out, and he's just like, so do you want, he's like repairing the TV and putting it up on the wall, and he's like, you want to move it more to the left or the right? Or, is it level? And I'm like, it's all down.
Throw it in the garbage. I don't care.
15 and put one in every spot.
What do you tell the people though who have significant others who are not only not supportive, but potentially even like, dude, go get a job?
Well, are your needs being met? Because I can understand, like some people might try to become an entrepreneur a little bit too early. So they're going for that, what does fulfill me, before they have what sustains me. And so I know my husband would be a lot more worried if we didn't have the sustaining stuff down. It's okay for us to have lost $26,000 that weekend, because we had a bank account that has so many months of reserve in it that he's not as worried. Does that make sense? So like, if they're not supportive, find out what the root cause of it is. My husband's not like involved in my business. Like a lot of people say, well, isn't it great that your husband, like somebody said, like, I think all husbands should work with their spouses. Mine doesn't. But
do you wish he did? Do you wish he did?
Oh, I would love it if he did. He doesn't want to though. And it's okay. We can have different interests. We are like completely different people. We're like stark opposites of each other. And he loves his independence and he loves me being independent. And I am an independent person. And I would tell him what to do. He would not like that because he's also a very strong-willed independent person. So
sounds like a terrible idea.
Sounds nice.
Sounds like a nightmare. It was my boyhood dream to always. I had very strange dreams as a boy. But it was my boyhood dream to get married and be like a power couple. Like both of us have this power business and like do big things and do big impact and all these things. And that never happened for me.
That's not going to happen.
No, it's not. And it's not going to happen.
But that doesn't mean we don't have an amazing marriage. And it doesn't mean that I don't have an amazing supportive spouse, but he's not involved in my business. But I can talk to him about business stuff. And if I'm ever going to spend a lot of money, I do like run it by him because that decision affects him as well. I don't think there's ever been a time when he said no, like, no, you can't do that. But I still want to, out of respect, like give him a heads up.
You know, it's interesting. Like a buddy of mine, I'll protect their identity. He's in a pretty bad marriage. He's in a pretty rough marriage. And I really, because, you know, I'm good at the ethical principles of persuasion. And I really studied, you know, on a deep level, what's happening here. And you know what I realized? He's not actually very good at his job. Therefore, he doesn't enjoy it. At home, his wife actually owns the house, and his wife makes more than him. And he's made a lot of bad decisions. And at this point, his wife's like, dude, I can't listen to you anymore. I'm doing my own thing. So he doesn't have that kind of respect at home. He's not really enjoying his he's not very good at his job. And so he's, at the end of the day, he's a man. He wants to feel like important somewhere, in charge somewhere. And he's not getting any of that. And it's interesting. He's having all these stupid domestic problems. He's like, and he's complaining. He's like, can you believe she told the kids to take all this laundry and put it on top of my bed? Now I can't find my pants because my pants are under there. I'm like, this is the stupidest thing I've heard in my entire life. But you see, like in my house, or in our house, like I don't question a lot of decisions, right? Like, even though my wife's, she has her business and stuff, but, for example, like, I'll come home and there'll be like this Central Market thing, and it's like $6, and it's a few dice. It's like one little diced tomato. I'm like, before I'd be like, honey, why are we buying a diced tomato for $6? Now I don't bother anything. I don't do any of that because nobody wins these arguments. Because the thing is, she supports my independence here. Like, because once I'm in the office, it's like, it's my world. No, I mean, I'm the artist. I get to create whatever I want. I get to paint whatever I want. I get to destroy whatever I want, if I want to. And that is really, I think, very healthy for us to have our own, to have that opportunity, to have that freedom to express ourselves and to just be us. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, my husband and I are very different people. Like we're stark opposites. So if we are going to have a marriage that works, which we totally do, it has to be one that values something that's completely opposite from ourselves.
Right. Yeah. Your team, it sounds like they've been with you for a while.
Some of my team members have been, I've got one team member who's been with me for 5 years now. 2 team members who've been with me for over 2.5 years. Oh no, three, because I forgot about one of my bloggers. 3 that have been, I've had 3 people have been with me for about 5 years, if I include my blogging staff. Yeah. And I've got 3 people that have been with me for about 2.5. And then we have some contractor relationships. And most of my contractors have been with me for an extended period of time too. But we are hiring new. So, and I have a revolving door. So there's like 2 positions that in each of my businesses that I've had is like, they come in, it's like a 9-month position, and every 9 months it's a new person, and my whole team is like, no, not another one. But it's really like we're all trying to hire the new person together. So I'm so sorry if you're listening and you're one of the people we're interviewing. We're trying really hard for this position this time to do a better job. And the rest, we know that if we fill this gap, that we will do really well. But the rest of us have bonded together so tightly. It's kind of, I know we might be hard to fit into.
Yeah. I'm asking these questions because like success leaves clues. I'm taking notes here, right? You guys survived a Q4 nightmare where you lost a ton of money, and a lot of people in that position, they'll fold shop, including back in the day, because I've had 10 businesses that failed. When something like that would happen to me, I would close shop. You guys survived that. I
closed shop. I was a basket case. I curled up in the fetal position, ate nothing but ice cream for 3 months straight. Dude, like we all fail, okay? Like we all fail, and we're gonna fail hard. But the difference is, how do you get up? So like,
exactly. You
gotta almost, like when I was in that state, my husband's like, okay, you've got like 3 days to mourn about this and then get off your bum because I'm really tired of this. Like, let's go on. So but you can't stay down. Don't let something get you down. And you can have catastrophic things happen in your life and you're still gonna have to get up. And that happened to me. We had a miscarriage, and when I had the miscarriage, my neighbor, I went back into that eating nothing but cereal and ice cream and fetal position, crying on the floor, just like I did when a Q4. I mean, a loss is a loss. They're not any different in a lot of ways when you're an entrepreneur. And so it's not like in my mind, they are kind of the same kind of loss. I mean, because as an entrepreneur, how it can be. And my neighbor came to me and she said, it's enough. Like, you need to get up, you need to feed your children, you need to get dressed, you need to shower, you need to do this. And yes, I realize you've had a tremendous gap in your life, but you're not parenting your children right now. So like, come on. And so I am so grateful to her for stepping in, because my husband was not in a state then to be able to like help me. And I'm thankful for my husband. Whenever we had that DDoS attack, he's like, okay, babe, this is enough. Time to pony up. Let's go.
I love this. I mean, this is
yourself. Every single one of us, we will get kicked and kicked hard. You are going to have that happen to you. So maybe give yourself 72 hours to mourn it, and then after you're kicked, then get up and take action.
Well, you just tapped a very interesting topic. So you've survived and thrived through a lot of quote unquote kicks. You've had the Q4 nightmare. You've had some personal setbacks. You've had some hate. You've had, a couple of different things happen here. But it's funny because like a lot of times when I look at people and I see the ones who've made it and the ones who didn't, it seems like a lot of times the ones the people who've made it are just the ones who haven't given up. Well, they're tenacious, aren't they? Man,
I think I like what James Wedmore said. I know I mentioned him at the beginning of the show too. He said that we choose the stories that we want to believe. So when we've had a crap situation happen, we get to choose how we get to show up and how we get to respond to that story in our lives. And so for those of you who are listening, it's part of it's about being too stubborn and pushing through it, because you know that you have a desire to make an impact. You know you have a gift that the world needs, and you know that story on the side of your head, that hater, and even if it's you hating yourself because you had this failure and you know you should have protected yourself better, or you had whatever it was that happened in your life that caused a failure, you can just decide what story you want to believe. And that's how I dusted myself off a little bit.
Man, oh man, Rachel, you've given us so much time. I want to bring on 2 more points. I really appreciate it. This has been really good, honestly. It's so interesting, like how success leaves clues, and it's just like I'm just dissecting your story, and it's just like, wow, that makes sense. That makes sense. That makes sense. What, like, if you could only say one thing, like, let's just say, I don't want to be morbid, but let's just say, like, okay, your followers.
I'm good.
That's okay. No, here's the thing. You are very genuine with your followers. You love your followers. You give them your heart. You give them so much content. You give them so many results. Like, and you've gotten kind of close to them at this point, right?
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. Here's the thing. If you were to never see them again, and you were looking at them right now, you were to never see them again, right? You knew that for whatever reason. You had to go to the moon because the NASA recruited you. You have to go do social media on the moon for some reason, right? I don't even know what that means.
Well, that's a real possibility. Like, if one of my children had a severe illness or a severe injury, right, I would walk away from my business. It would happen.
Yeah, no, me too. Absolutely. I often think about throwing my phone in the ocean, but okay, you're standing in front of your audience right now for the last time. What do you want to tell them?
I love you guys. Just I love them and I'm grateful for them. And go out and serve and go out and love your own audiences, the people that you have around you, and love and serve. If you can love and selflessly serve, and your people that are around you know that, whether they're your children, whether the people your business sells to, whether it's the people that your social media account reaches every single day, people need to feel that they're making an impact. And when you love them, they feel that impact. And so they feel the ability that they can have an impact. So what you're going to do by loving your people is help them love more people and love and serve more. So I make content and I want my audience to make content so that our audiences can share that content and be a light and a beacon to their people that come and see that post that they're sharing. So I want, if I could leave them with nothing, the motivation, the encouragement, the whip crack to say, go out and love and serve.
It's so interesting. You said very little, but you said a lot, because that one sentence, go out there, love and serve. I mean, that could be like that's like the core of any like real business. So that was so beautiful and eloquent. Did you ever think about that before? Or did you just come up with that?
Oh, I don't know if I thought about it quite like that. But I always say love to serve, and then serve is selling, because we don't actually make an impact unless we require a payment. So like for you, you're not going to like see a change in your life if there's something you're struggling with and you want to fix it. You're not going to see a change in it unless you pay something or you spend your time. So you either pay somebody to mow your lawn, and that's how you get it fixed. Right. Or you go out there and you push the mower, and that's how you get it fixed. Your money or your time. That's how we affect change in the world. So if we actually love our audience, and if we're actually going to serve our audience, we're going to sell to them. Because if we don't sell it, they won't consume it, they won't use it, and they won't have a change in their life, because they need to spend their time or their money to make a change. And I want my people to make changes in the world. So you got to love, you got to serve, you got to sell at the same time.
This is why I like talking to brilliant people like you, because it like expands my mind. I never thought about that in order to create change, you have to either give time or money. I never thought about that. That is very true. Wow.
So, yeah, like I give away almost all my content for free inside my big old free Facebook group, but you got to be there a lot of time. You got to listen to a lot of my stories to get the nuggets.
Yeah, well, give it to us.
WCD.
Well, give it to us. How can our people, what's the best way for them to get all your beautiful nuggets?
My Facebook page is Moolah Marketer, and I'm Rachel Miller on Facebook.
I'm gonna write this. Hold on. What, now, how do you spell this? M-O.
MOOLAH marketer.com, or Moolah Marketer is on Facebook. And Rachel Miller is my rachelmiller.com and Rachel Miller on Facebook as well.
And this is the Facebook group.
Hi, friends. Good to see you again.
Yeah, thank you so much. This has been really fun, actually. You know, to be honest with you, like when my branding company was like, dude, you got to do a podcast. I was like, dude, because I used to be a guest on podcasts all the time. And I stopped because I'm like, dude, they just ask the same freaking questions over and over. And it's like so boring. I'm like, I don't really want to do a podcast. But you know what? This is awesome. Like, it's actually a lot of fun. I really feel, I'm actually a little teary-eyed. I'm serious. I'm not just saying that. Like, it's so beautiful to like listen to your journey. And it's so, I mean, like, I feel a lot of similarities. And just to see another person try to go, you know, survive all the kicks for the reason to provide for their family and to make this world a better place, to improve the quality of mankind, to spread your light. Because the truth is, you really don't have to be doing all the stuff that you're doing, but you are, because you have a gift and you're spreading it, which is so beautiful. So thank you so much. This has been a true honor. Everybody immediately go to Moolah Marketer Facebook group, because you saw that's just a taste of Rachel, but she does it pretty much on a regular basis. Thank you so much, guys. Impact Nation. Bless you, Rachel. Bless you. Thank you guys so much. And we will see you next week. Peace. Was that a good outro? I don't know. I just made that up.
Thank you, Akbar. That was fun.
Okay. Hold on a second.
I think there's still